If college is a place where we come to learn and to be equipped to succeed in life, don't you think it's time we learn about the issue that is affecting 26.2 of us in any given year? Mental illness has an unquestionable amount of stigma surrounding it. A study done by the Canadian Journal of Behavioral Sciences in 2015 showed that 1 in 8 students admitted that they would not pursue treatment in order of fear of being stigmatized by other peers. When reading the statistic, I hope you, like I, see a desperate need for change. I would go as far as to say that all of us would morally support minimizing this stigma. However, what does this look like for us financially? There is no doubt this is a prevalent issue, with a study done by the Washington School of Social Work in 2015 saying that 1 in 4 people ages 18 to 25 suffer from a diagnosable mental illness in a given year. While I realize that budgeting money for promoting mental health will take away from other worthy causes, I asked you to think about the consequences of what happens if we don't implement change. By implementing simple educational courses, merging the mental health centers and health centers on campus, and promoting mental health, we are able to impact those battling mental illness and make our campus a more accepting place for everyone. College is the peak time for people to experience a mental health disorder, including but not limited to anxiety, depression, and eating disorders. Have you ever personally been tested for any of these symptoms? Have you ever been taught what the warning signs are in order to be aware that you or your peers are at risk? I know personally the answer for me was no. If this is such a prevalent issue, why do we talk so little about it? In our culture today, mental health is very misunderstood, undiagnosed, and has a lot of confusion surrounding it. However, it is very relevant, especially as students, and we can't ignore the consequences if we don't change how we view and treat it. An article by CNN in 2015 labeled Suicide Prevention on College Campuses, Reducing the Stigma, showed that 90% of those who die from suicide each year have a diagnosable mental illness. 80% of those students never sought help from a counselor. However, many did go to the medical center on campus, which is an important link for treatment and shows that this traditional model of separation between health centers and mental health centers had not been effective. Recently, this topic has gained more attention in the media. One example is homecoming queen of the University of Auburn, Miss Taylor Wesley. As an article published by AL in 2015, who's a local news source, says that Wesley's platform was mental health awareness and education, and she openly discussed her own struggles with mental illness. Wesley states, "It wasn't until I reached out for help that I was able to get better. I was so scared to go to treatment because I thought it would show that I'm weak, but really admitting that I needed help showed how strong I was. I was able to get better, and today I live without my mental illness defining me." Wesley's attitude toward mental illness perfectly reflects the fear most students have about reaching out for help. Her relatable story helped her and others raise $2,800 for the campus mental health center in merely just 3 days. I want to propose a solution for the discrimination of mental illness that in many ways is similar to Taylor Wesley's. My approach is to combat the stigma on mental illness and to promote mental health by opening the line of communications between those affected and society as a whole, requiring mental health education on every campus, and merging the division between mental health centers and health centers on campus. It is important that students do not feel isolated and that they feel included in every aspect of life. Instead, we should strive to be a society that is not only accepting of those with mental illness, but we also support them. The first step to doing so is to be educated about mental illness. I believe the university should require every student to take a class or a seminar in order to thoroughly educate them about mental illness. This can come in the form of a mandatory seminar at orientation, such as an alcohol EDU class that we are all required to take freshman year. In this way, it can give us warning signs, just general information, or that every student be required to take psychology in order to graduate. Just as we are required to take cultural credits to better understand our peers, shouldn't we also take a class on mental health to better our interactions with others in our society? Step 2 of my reform is to improve the lives of those struggling with mental health, and to help prevent mental illness is to promote the utilization and services offered at campus mental health centers. In 1999, a study done by NAMI, New York, found that 50% of colleges surveyed offered assistance to new students with mental illness, and 80% of those stated that they needed more. I believe that every college should be required to have a mental health center, just as every college is required to have a physical health center. Mental health is a part of and just as vital as physical health, and students should be given the option to have both of those needs met. The third and final step to my plan is to integrate the mental health evaluation and the regular medical checkups. I believe by doing this, we will decrease the stigma of mental illness being seen as a lesser than or of a physical ailment or made up. If in a regular checkup you check your blood pressure, heart rate, weight, temperature, this would just include you getting checked up on your mental well-being and emotional state. Misunderstandings about the nature of mental disorders and their treatment have contributed to their neglect. Most of society believes that mental illness is either A, made up, or B, that the treatment does not exist. However, studies have shown that there is effective treatment, and with it, many students can live a life that is just as productive or similar as we do in our normal everyday existence. I believe that these reforms are essential because education about mental illness on college campus can have significant benefits for all of us. For the students who are struggling, it can provide them the tools that they need in order to succeed in this environment. For students who are not personally affected, it will help them better be able to recognize and seek appropriate help for mental health problems when and if they occur, and see warning signs for their peers. The faculty will find relief in knowing how to help students whose feelings, thoughts, and behaviors undermine their academic success, and administrators are able to find fair, effective, and legal solutions to the challenges that these students face. By adopting my plan for reform, I believe that we can make our campus and other college campuses across the nation a more accepting and better place for all students. Thank you.